The following podcast contains mature subject matter, adult themes, and may also contain profanity. You have been warned.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome back to The Absurd, a podcast of many things absurd. Absurd histories and mysteries and strange goings-on. Things that are funny, freaky, and sometimes frightening. Yeah. That one there laughing is Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going okay. How are you?
Oh, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a good day?
No.
No.
But it's okay. It's okay. So if I'm extra giggly, I apologize.
Don't
I will,
apologize.
I will try to keep the giggle to a minimum.
I'd way rather have
No
you giggling
promises.
than crying.
Well, yeah, that's not going to happen.
I mean, it happens to everybody at some point. Yeah.
Rarely.
Hey, how are you enjoying the artichoke mac and cheese
so
bites?
good.
Oh, yeah, dude.
They are fantastic. Thank
And
you.
with a little bit, you're welcome, with a little bit of mayo and Frank's mixed together.
Yum, yum.
That's some good eating.
So good.
So, yeah, other than having a crappy day, things are okay?
Things are okay.
That's good.
Yeah. I feel like the kids are going to be home tomorrow.
Why, is it supposed to snow more?
Yes.
Let's see.
It just got all of a sudden very... Is that fog or snow?
It could be both.
Could be both.
Could be... What would be a combination? Snog.
Snog.
No, 'cause that means
not to be
kiss.
confused with snuff.
Because snog means to kiss in English.
Oh, really?
Like British parlance, yeah.
Oh,
So it's not like that.
no.
Doesn't it seem like forever since we did this?
Yes.
I know.
Yes, I was saying that to someone earlier today. I'm like, I feel like we haven't done this for so long, but
I know
it's
it's
because we were at Rural Roots last weekend.
yeah, a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I guess it's when you throw off the routine, things get unroutine.
Unroutine-y.
Is that a word? That's
Yeah.
a good. That sounds like a pasta.
Unroutine-y?
Yeah. Can I have the unroutine and Alfredo sauce, please?
So just fettuccine.
Yes, with extra watermelon. I have no idea.
Wow.
But yeah, you're right. It is looking wintry out again.
Yeah, I think we're getting another dose of it tomorrow.
And some places got smoked, eh?
Yes,
Like
I heard that.
Sault Ste. Marie, which is as the dog runs, it's like the version of the crow flies. I don't know how far north of here, like 4 hours. It's longer if you have to go, because you have to go around the lake.
Right.
Not maybe 5 hours. They got like 80 centimeters of snow last Friday, and then like 50 more. For you
Crazy.
people who haven't caught up with the rest of the world, and you know who I mean, that's like 4 feet of snow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
dude.
crazy.
Yeah, that's like snow in the good old days
Yes,
of
sure
yesteryear.
is.
You know.
Yes,
I
I
don't-
remember growing up in Newfoundland and the amount of snow we used to get.
Mhm.
If we got that here, oh my God, people wouldn't know what to do with themselves. They would just go crazy.
I don't miss it.
No, I don't either.
Hey, you reminded me. What do you call them? Those big fogs in Newfoundland again?
The big fogs?
Yeah, you sent me a picture of one. They just roll in all of a sudden, like, and you can't see anything. I thought there was a special name for them.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, you can see the fog rolling in. It's quite terrifying.
I think it'd be awesome.
Oh no, man.
Yeah,
It's like the world is ending.
I'm all about that.
Because it'll be completely clear and then fog. Kind of like when we get snow squalls here, right? Where they come
Right.
out of nowhere and...
But they're not. Well, they're kind of scary. Not
Well,
really
they are
scary.
scary. I don't.
You don't like them?
No, I've been caught in them at nighttime, and it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we're here. We're here in the pod, and we got some snacks.
We do.
We have a drink each,
Mm-hmm.
and we're ready to roll. I think.
We're
You ready to roll?
Yeah.
Roll. Yeah. So I saw that you have an update to one of your earlier stories.
Yes.
Wow. Do
It
tell.
was back in July.
Uh huh.
July 24th. To
Remember
be
it well.
exact. What?
I remember that day
Yeah,
well.
Okay. Do you know?
I haven't a clue.
It was that's my daughter's birthday. No, day after. Anyways, doesn't matter. You can take that out.
I'm not taking that out. That's staying in for the world to hear.
It was episode 14. It was called "The Bottle Let Them Down: Relationship Baggage." The woman who fell to earth, and snake surprise.
Oh yeah, this is the relationship baggage one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sarah Boone was her name, and she's the one that zipped her boyfriend in a suitcase, and he ended up dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sentenced. She was not he. Well, he was kind of sentenced to life, wasn't he?
Kinda.
But she was too. So she is in prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
As she should be.
No kidding. And I read a little bit about the sentencing. She claimed that she was like a battered spouse, and that he hit her, raped her, stabbed her, beat her. She never went to the hospital. So there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever of that ever happening.
Yeah.
And
she's just all levels of gray.
well, if you recall, and it actually said in this article that when he begged her to let him out, she was saying, well, this is what you get for cheating.
Yes.
Well, which is it?
Yeah.
Right? And don't for 1 second, anyone, please don't think that I'm minimizing or poo-pooing spousal abuse. I think it's revolting and disgusting. And it happens entirely too often.
Sure does.
This doesn't sound like a case of that. And even if it was, though, that's not a get out of jail free card.
It is not. You still killed somebody.
Go to the police. Like,
Yeah.
bust his ass.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Or her ass.
Yeah.
Because women do spousal abuse too. Don't kid yourself.
Of course.
Don't.
She got what she deserved.
100%. Yeah. And like, so he had children, like not from her. And they read impact statements, like victim impact statements.
Jeez.
And she didn't care. She was utterly remorseless. So, yeah.
If
you
she
got
cared,
bigger
she wouldn't
issues.
have done it in the first place.
Well, you would have walked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She said, I was trying to teach him a lesson. Well, then maybe you should have let him out, because if you're dead, you ain't learning shit.
No.
You know what I mean? Why'd you shoot him in the face? Well, he need to be taught a lesson. Really? So he won't do it again then.
Right.
So there is no lesson.
Sounds right.
Cow. Vash. Yeah, anyway, for those of you who are long-time listeners, we love you. We thought you might appreciate the update on that story, eh?
Yeah.
How do you feel about getting into today's stories?
Let's get it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right?
All right.
Ooh, bolly. Okay, I did come up with a title for this story. I'm going to call it Rat-A-Chewy.
Oh, as I'm chewing food right now?
That's your problem.
Okay.
All right, so in August of this year, 2024, and that, I just did that for Ben. Remember what I said? How Ben, who was sitting beside you at Rural Roots,
Yeah.
he did say he'd really like if we can put in there when the stories happen.
Yes.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
So, yeah, in August of this year, 2024, oh my God, New Namboello Makula,
Wow.
I'm not saying that again, bought a loaf of whole wheat brown bread from a local shop in Durban, South Africa on her way home from work. Who doesn't? Who doesn't buy bread?
Why not?
She said, I took the bread out of the fridge to make toast and noticed something disgusting and scary.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
It was only when she was halfway through it that she discovered what appeared to be a dead rat in between the slices.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh.
A cross-section of the rat remained, with guts and dirty black fur
stop.
exposed, where the rat appeared to have been cleaved into pieces during the slicing process. That'll learn you. Yeah. Squeak, squeak.
Squeak, squeak.
Nambuello shared her horror online, talking through her foul discovery and asking how the rodent could have found itself in and amongst the food during production. Damn good question. In the clip shared online, she opens 2 slices to show pieces of the rat on each side, as well as the animal's hair, guts, and tail. I took a picture and sent it to my friends, and one of them said, FYI, that's a rat. I was in denial and suggested it might be something else, but the rat scenario made sense. It's possible the rat got into the bread at the factory and for no one to notice. She claims to have gone back to the shop to raise the issue and was allegedly told to complain directly to the supplier, PepsiCo. She sent the brand an email alongside her video and images of the bread. She claims she was later contacted by a representative from PepsiCo over the phone. She told local news, "This experience has been traumatic and disgusting." No doubt.
A little bit.
Komel Vermeulen, let me try that again. Komel Vermeulen, representative from PepsiCo South Africa, said they are aware of the isolated incident as reported. They also added that the loaf of whole wheat brown bread did not meet the company's stringent standards. Well, I should bloody well say so. Oh, you got the lucky piece with the rat. Yeah, you win a year's supply of margarine. The contact has also assured customers that an investigation has been launched and that samples have been taken from the batch in question. Still, it is not the first time someone has reported finding a rat in their food. A man from Brisbane, Australia, who did not want to be named, spoke out in February of this year about the moment he realized he was eating a rat in a wrap bought from a popular bakery. The man bought a ham and salad wrap at Beefy's, like that name,
Beefy's,
in Palmview as a tasty snack on his journey home in late January. Love the editorializing here. A tasty snack. How do you know if it was tasty?
Tasty, yeah.
And who wants an untasty snack?
Right.
Hey, do you have anything that tastes like shit? Because that's what I want.
In a wrap.
Right, yeah, in a wrap. Anyway.
Extra cheese, please.
He said the wrap looked normal as he could only see lettuce, carrot, and ham from the top. The man was horrified. You're going to love this. The man was horrified to realize his mistake only after biting into the rat. I was chewing and chewing and chewing, and I couldn't get the mouthful that I'd bitten to actually come away from the wrap. You picture that in your head now.
I can.
He told Daily Mail Australia he initially thought the chewy texture was a bit of ham gristle or a bit of fat, but soon realized the mouthful contained a dead rat.
Oh, God.
I kept chewing for a bit and thought something didn't feel right. I pulled it out of my mouth. I looked back up and thought to myself, that cannot be what I think it is, and kept driving. But when I looked back down again, I saw a tail and picked it up. I'm gagging just thinking about it again. It's just so revolting. I was actually biting into the rat's body. The man immediately pulled over, rolled down the window, and spat everything out of his mouth that he possibly could while gagging and dry retching. He said that when he went back to the restaurant to complain discreetly, without bringing attention to the mistake, staff screamed. They all ran into the back room, and 2 of them, I think, stayed. They were petrified. With the rat out of the bag, diners fled. By then, the whole shop cleared out. People that were dining in were looking at me in disbelief. Following the incident, he received a phone call from a Beefy's general manager who apologized on behalf of the franchise and promised to keep him informed, claiming the rat would be tested for any toxins. But since the traumatic afternoon, he said he has not been able to enjoy a meal without thinking about the rat inside his wrap.
Oh my God. How does a rat end up inside of a wrap? Like, I'm assuming that this place makes them on demand, or they...
Well, that is an assumption. I mean, it's a fair one, but I'm going to guess not. Like, and obviously it wasn't a whole rat. Unless that's one big-ass rat. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, I can't. And the bread one, where did it say where that was?
Yes, that was in South Africa.
Okay.
If you remember, that's the same place where those dudes ended up in the ceiling of the hospital dead.
Yes.
So I don't think there's a connection between the two
Do
incidents.
you know what kind of bread it was?
Whole wheat, brown bread.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh, I did have it in the article, but I took it out because it was unnecessary. It's not a brand we have here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Well then, all right.
But I mean, stuff like this happens, like.
Can't even. And I mean, certain protocols aren't in place in different parts of the world too, and how they prepare their food, and there's regulations that aren't in effect in a lot of these places, unfortunately.
Right. But I mean, it's like the old adage, like never go into the kitchen of your favorite restaurant.
Yes.
Like how many times when you're cooking,
Yeah.
have you dropped something on the floor, picked it up, and put it right back into the pan?
Well, I have not done that, but
Really?
oh,
fuck.
you do that?
Well, it's for me. Like this
Do
whole
I want to eat these anymore?
this whole 5-second rule or whatever it is nonsense.
Yeah.
Right.
Depending on what it is, I suppose.
Well, and depending, if there's well, I don't have mice because I'm on the 10th floor, but
Right.
if I had mice in my place, no, I wouldn't then.
Right.
It would depend what it was. Like if it was soup, no, I'm not, I'm not using my turkey baster to suck it off the floor and put it back into the pot. But, if it's like a French fry or something,
Right.
whatever, dude. If that's what kills me, well, then so be it. But no, I mean...
Yeah,
it's a dirty
you never
world.
really know. It's true. Especially like with rice.
Rice?
Like things you can find in a rice bag.
Oh, flour.
Yeah.
Like your flour. Like I keep mine in the fridge. In a bag, obviously. But I mean, you'll get little insecty things in your flour. How the hell? Who knows how? Like they can be in a container.
I have a friend that works at a coffee shop, and they get, I won't say where it is, but they get their coffee from, on the other side of the world, and it comes in giant bags, loose coffee. And she said we straight up found a screwdriver one time.
What? Like
in
a tool?
the coffee bag.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
What kind of head was on it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't ask these questions.
I
I almost killed my husband with a bag of rice once. Not like hitting him with it, but I
how?
cooked some rice and he was eating it, and there was a screw nail in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in his mouth. Went in his mouth.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
take it back?
No.
Oh, I would have. Hell
No.
yeah.
No, because at that point I had dumped it all out into another container, like a Tupperware. That's usually how I store it. So I couldn't even tell you where it was from or anything.
Right, but were you storing screws in the Tupperware before
I was
that?
not.
Right,
I was
so,
not.
Right,
But it troubled me. That troubled me for a long time. I was looking at, because I do it in my air fryer because it has a pressure cooker setting.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm checking the lid. I'm looking at the utensils I used. I was trying to make sense of why there was a screw nail in the rice. But he's like, no, it was just in the rice.
That's weird.
How did I not see it?
How did you not see it?
Yeah.
You obviously didn't, but it's not like you're looking for it.
I mean, it's good that, not good, but it's better that he got it instead of one of the kids.
Well, and it's a good thing that, I don't know how big it was. Like
Well, screw nail, so it's, a few inches long.
Right, so you're going to, it goes into your mouth, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
You're going to be, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
But that's why we get recalls. Like don't know what, I don't remember what product, but some product was recently called back because of finding metal pieces in it. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, how does that happen? How do pieces of metal get on a line in a food processing place? Like, I don't know.
There was a little frog in my mom's lettuce one time, like a
That's kind of
bag
cool.
lettuce.
Yeah. Did she eat it?
No.
Was it dead?
She screamed like she was being murdered. It
Was
was
it
great.
Was it dead?
No, it jumped out of the bag.
Sweet. What happened to it?
I don't remember now. Probably Dad came along and squished it.
Aw. Dude, went all that distance
I know, right?
from away from all his or her friends and family.
Yeah. This little
Strange
tiny frog.
place, and like, oh my god, where am I? They do make that
Sucks to
noise when they
suck.
get squashed.
Do they?
Probably.
So anyway, on
Yeah.
that pleasant note,
But I decided to lead with that story
yes.
because hopefully people. Well, it's around dinner time. Not that people are listening to this around dinner time, but if they are, But that way, the evil one, like
the evil one,
the evil story is out of the way.
Oh no!
Hey,
I have an evil story.
Oh, sweet! Bring it. I'm listening. I'm gonna eat whatchamacallit? Artichoke mac and cheese bite while you tell the story.
You do that.
I will.
All right. This is about a lady called Olga. I love that name. Olga of Kiev, the one saint you don't want to mess with.
Hey, that's Ukraine.
Yes, it is. This story takes place in Kievan Rus in the 10th century, or the 900s if you like. Kievan Rus, for simplicity's sake, was an area covering that is now Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, if I'm saying that right. Belarus. It was a loose tribal federation with some shared the pagan culture. So Princess Olga was born around 900 CE, give or take a decade. Here's a quick rundown of Olga's life. I didn't want to get too much into it, but
cool. She
was pagan, and she married Igor.
Of course she did.
All I picture is like Winnie the Pooh, Igor. But anyway.
I picture the assistant on Hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Okay.
Some people will know what I'm talking about.
So she married Igor the First. He was the Prince of Kiev, and they had a son. There you go. That's her background. Kievan Rus was a growing empire in the mid-10th century. But you don't grow an empire without putting the squeeze on all your neighbors.
Damn right.
The Drevlians were a neighboring tribe that had a complicated relationship with the Kievan Rus. They've done some work together, and they paid tribute to Kievan Rus. You pay it to be more powerful warlord, and so that they protect you, mainly from their own forces. The Drevlians had paid tribute to Igor's predecessors, but they quit in 912 after the last prince died. Rather than pay out the big Kievan Rus, they started shopping local and paid tribute to a nearby warlord. So there's kind of the background of what's happening here.
Right, got you.
So Igor, he needed to get his tribute back.
Yep.
So he decided to pay a visit to the Trevilians. It turned out that it was the wrong move. The Drevlians saw this Kievan Rus bastard riding into town to demand tribute after 33 years of not getting it. So they did what can be referred to as the human hammock to Igor. The Drevlians bent 2 birch trees to the ground and tied them to each of Igor's legs.
Uh-oh.
They then let the trees go. The tree straightened out, but Igor didn't. He was torn apart.
Right up Main Street.
Right up Main Street. You got it. So, enter Olga. She was pissed.
Yeah, well.
She was not happy.
Do you ever picture a person named Olga ever being happy?
No, I don't.
No, me neither.
Actually.
I don't know why.
I don't. So yeah, clearly she was pissed off, but she didn't let on to it. Mm-hmm. The Drevlians sent 20 men to Olga to convince her to marry the Drevlian prince Mal, which would give the Drevlians control over the Kievan Rus.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Olga was acting as regent for her son, who was too young to take over just yet, and she had the full might of the Kievan Rus at her disposal. So, here enters the 4-stage magnum opus of revenge.
Ooh, I like it.
Phase 1. There's 4, okay?
You got that.
Phase 1.
Yep.
Olga, playing nice, welcomed the 20 Drevlian ambassadors who had been sent to negotiate her next marriage. Olga sent messengers to summon the Drevlians to her hall, but the pompous ambassadors demanded that they, along with their boats, be carried into Olga's court.
Their boats?
Their boats.
Oh,
so they're in their boats being carried in.
That can't be an easy gig.
No. But wait. The Kievan Rus response, sure, no problem, we can do that for you. They carried the finely robed Drevlians in their boats into Olga's hall. What the Drevlians didn't know was that before they arrived, Olga had ordered her men to dig a great trench. Her men carried the boats filled with the Drevlian divas over to the trench and dumped them in, boats and all. Then she ordered her men to bury the Drevlians alive.
Ooh, that sucks.
Phase 2.
Okay.
This should be a movie. This would be great. Olga told Prince Mal that she would marry him, but she wanted an escort. Mal would need to send some of his most important people to travel with her. It would serve as an act of goodwill that would acknowledge the importance of a union with the Kievan Rus. Mal was thirsty to be king, so he obliged and sent a group of Drevlian chieftains to Olga. She rolled out the red carpet and took her guests in, offering them some bathhouse time to clean up after their journey. If you can't guess what happened next, here's a hint. The bathhouse door is locked from the outside. She locked those poor bastards in the bathhouse and set it on fire, burning all the chieftains alive.
Yikes.
Phase 3.
Olga.
I know. She's badass, man.
She is.
After the bathhouse burning, Olga sent Mal a request. Marriage still sounded good, but she'd like to visit their city to hold a funeral feast and proper burial for her deceased husband.
Yeah.
Olga and her soldiers arrived for the funeral feast, and the wine was flowing. But while the Drevlians were blacking out drunk, Olga's men had been ordered to stay sober. When the time was right and the Drevlians were good and sloshed, Olga brought down the hammer and killed everyone in the room.
Damn. This is like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones.
Oh, don't mess with Olga.
Yeah, clearly.
Phase 4.
Oh, God.
Olga had gathered an army to wipe the Drevlians out once and for all. The surviving Drevlians, those whom Olga hadn't burned or buried or put a sword to their throat, begged for mercy. She let the Drevies off easy and only asked for 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each house. The Drevlians made good, but Olga did not. The birds were given to Olga, and she gave each of her soldiers a pigeon and a sparrow, along with an order. Tie a thread to each bird's feet. On the end of that thread, tie some cloth-bound sulfur. Once it was dark, Olga's soldiers lit the sulfur and released the pigeons and sparrows, who naturally flew back to their nests in the houses, coops, and haystacks of the Drevlian city. The whole city was set aflame at once, and the Drevlians fled. Olga's army captured the survivors. Some she killed, some she kept as slaves, and the rest she left to pay tribute.
Wow.
So she did some stuff.
Yeah.
To get back for them killing her husband.
Some stuff.
Yeah. Wow. She became a saint after all that too, which was
the Catholic. Would be the
crazy.
Orthodox Church made her a saint.
Yeah. So she she was pagan for most of her life.
Right.
She later converted to Christianity. Oh my Lord.
That was ironic.
She later converted to Christianity, receiving baptism between 945 and 957.
It takes that long back then? Sorry.
Yeah, so it's a long baptism.
Oh, wow. She must have been wrinkly.
Yeah, that's a long time to hold your breath.
Damn right.
So she encouraged her people to do the same.
Right.
While her son... Oh, God, I keep scrolling, sorry.
While her son
stuck with paganism, her grandson later adopted Olga's Christian mantle and declared Kievan Rus a Christian empire. In 969, Olga died as she lived, not a saint. But nearly 600 years later, the church recognized her efforts to make Kievan Rus a Christian nation. So in 1547, she was given the title as a saint. That's my kind of saint.
Isn't it weird, though, so how the church would be like, yeah, she did a lot of good work. Yeah, never mind that she, killed people horribly, and not people who necessarily had anything to do with her husband's death.
Oh, I know.
You know?
It's crazy. I heard that story. I heard the last part of it on a show. We watch a lot of documentaries and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like the Weird or What's and...
Yep.
Unexplained and stuff. Anyways, I caught the very end of that on something. And I just heard the bird part, and I went in and started reading it. I'm like, oh my God, she did so much more. So yeah.
I had never ever heard of her, but it reminds me of something that I'm not even going to mention, but I am going to make it a future story of mine. Yeah, man.
All right then.
Because them women back in ye olden days, it could be buggers. I tell you. You know, don't mess with Olga.
Don't mess with Olga.
I don't think I've ever met anybody named Olga.
No, I haven't.
Now I want to. I hope they're not like that, though.
No. Hey, they deserved it.
Why did everybody in this other country, why did they all have pigeons and sparrows?
I don't know. It's a good question that I don't have the answer to.
Like pigeons you can eat.
They all had them.
Like pigeons apparently, what's the other name for pigeon? I can't remember right now. It's not coming to me. but you can eat it, and it's apparently quite delicious. Like, don't go to the park and grab one, you know.
Downtown Toronto, grab a pigeon.
Might be less tasty.
Put it in a wrap.
Squab.
Apparently, that's
Isn't pigeon squab? Isn't that the same thing?
No idea.
All right, fine. But sparrows, why would you have sparrows? It'd take like 9 of them to have a snack.
Family pets, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. That's cool. That was a good story, man. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the bloody history.
It's cool.
Hey, you have a dog.
I do.
Dog's name is Maddie?
Maddie.
Is she a sweetie?
She is.
Yeah. It's the reason I asked that, everyone. Prior to Mel's family getting a dog, Mel she wasn't anti-dog, but the idea of a dog licking her face would literally make her think, anyway, that she would vomit.
Yeah.
So I wanted so badly for that to happen so I could witness it.
Thanks.
It'd be hilarious. You know, same as like when you get stung by a bee, and I'm hoping you do. Like, I don't want you to be in pain.
Thanks.
Maybe a little bit, but
maybe a little bit. Wow.
Well, you kind of have it going.
Yeah, well.
But you like dogs. Would you say you like dogs now?
I mean, I like mine.
Oh, right.
Let's put it that way.
But you don't hate other dogs.
No, but I'm not the type of person, if you have a dog, I'm probably not going to go up to it.
Oh, I want to get down on the floor and play with every dog I see. Oh, hell yeah.
I am not that person.
And cats do.
It's the same with babies.
Well, they're different, though.
I'm not that.
They're different.
No. Cats, yes.
I wonder, too bad you can't do auto feeders for babies like you do for cats or dogs. That'd be pretty cool.
An auto feeder.
Yeah. You see, no, anyway.
I
was going to get it sidetracked. But your dog, it's the usual dog, right? Has a tail, 4 legs,
sure
1
does.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never thought of getting other parts attached to it?
I don't know where this is going.
Oh, you're going to find out. So,
I'm frightened.
You should be. Calling Soviet doctor Vladimir Damikov, God, I love Russian pronunciation, a mad scientist, may be undercutting his contributions to the world of medicine, but some of his radical experiments certainly fit the title. Case in point, though it may seem like myth, propaganda, or a case of photoshopped history, in the 1950s, Vladimir Damikov actually created a 2-headed dog.
What?
You're hearing me. Even before creating his 2-headed dog, Vladimir Damikov was a pioneer in transplantology. He even coined the term. After transplanting a number of vital organs between dogs, his favorite experimental subjects, he aimed, amid much controversy, to see if he could take things further. He wanted to graft the head of one dog onto the body of another fully intact dog. Starting in 1954, Damikov and his associates set about performing the surgery 23 times with varying degrees of success. The 24th time, in 1959, was not even the most successful attempt, but it was the most publicized, with an article and accompanying photos appearing in Life magazine. You remember Life magazine?
I sure do.
Yeah, it was awesome. This is thus the 2-headed dog that history remembers most. I don't know of any others, so I don't know if it's a real big contest between 2-headed dogs.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, did each country put in an entry? And the winner is Tibet. For this surgery, Damikov chose 2 subjects. One, a large stray German shepherd that Damikov named Brodiga, Russian for tramp.
Oh.
Keep it back. We're talking tramping like the Lady and the Tramp kind of thing.
Great tramp story, by the way.
Later. So a German shepherd, nicknamed Tramp, and a smaller dog named Shavka. I don't know what that means, but I kind of like it. Brodyaga would be the host dog, and Shavka would supply the secondary head and neck. With Shavka's lower body amputated below the 4 legs, keeping her own heart and lungs connected until the last minute before the transplant, and a corresponding incision in Brodyaga's neck where Shavka's upper body would attach, the rest was mainly vascular reconstruction, other than attaching the vertebrae of the dogs with plastic strings, that is. Sounds really complicated to me.
It's a lot of work.
Thanks to the team's wealth of experience, the operation took a mere 3.5 hours. After the two-headed dog was resuscitated, both heads could hear, see, smell, and swallow. Although Shavka's transplanted head could drink, she was not connected to Bradyaga's stomach. Anything she drank flowed through an external tube and onto the floor.
Wow.
In the end, this two-headed dog lived only just 4 days. That's pretty good, though. Had a vein in the neck area not accidentally gotten damaged, it may have lived even longer than Demika's longest-living two-headed dog, which survived 29 days.
Wow.
Even setting aside the deaths of the canine subjects, the moral implications of Demika's experiment are tricky. Not really. I'd say that's very unethical. Mm-hmm. This head transplantation, unlike some of his other advancements in the field of transplantology, had no real-life applications. Yet there were certainly very real implications for the dogs. Yeah, like dying.
Yeah.
However, as outrageous as this all sounds, a head transplant wasn't even that radical for the 1950s. As early as 1908, the French surgeon Dr. Alexis Carrel and his partner American physiologist Dr. Charles Guthrie attempted the same experiment. Their dual-headed canine initially showed promise, but degraded quickly and was euthanized within a few hours. What kind of promise could it have shown? Today, Italian neurosurgeon Sergio Canavero believes that head transplants will be a reality in the very near future. He is closely involved in the first human attempt, which is slated to occur in China, no comment, where there are fewer medical and ethical regulations. Yeah, not even a little surprised. Canavero said last year they have a tight schedule, but the team in China say they are ready to do it. Who volunteers for that?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Nevertheless, most everyone else in the medical community believes that a transplant of this kind is still science fiction fodder. But in the not-too-distant future, such a surgery may actually become a reality. Okay, Mel.
So you could put my head on like a 25-year-old body?
Or you could put it on a dog's body. I was gonna say another kind of animal, but I didn't want to be overly insulting. I was gonna say like a cow's body, but I wasn't meaning to call you a cow, but that would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
No.
Moo.
Yeah.
Milk me.
I'm not. That's utterly ridiculous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But why? I mean,
why is the question.
Well, it's horrific.
Why?
Well, I guess, I suppose I can see potential application, like...
And why dogs?
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't know, maybe the Russians like dogs. Like, so I don't know if you know this, and I'm actually going to look at this at some point in the future, but so when the Americans and the Soviets were involved in the space race, the Soviets were the first ones to put a human in space. But both the Americans and the Soviets sent animals into space. The Americans primarily used, I'm not sure if they were chimpanzees, but monkeys of some nature, primates. Yeah. The Russians used dogs. And the argument, well, I don't know if I buy this. One of the arguments was the Russians, because they thought it was too unkind to use primates. I'm not particularly anti-Russian, but they're generally speaking not the most humane culture in Earth's history. So there may very well have been scientists who thought, no, I don't like the idea of sending chimps up. But I don't think overall the Soviet program wouldn't have given a damn. Right? Yeah. But so maybe that was why. This is around the same time, 1959. So maybe just dogs figured into science a lot. And maybe they had a lot of stray dogs. Maybe. That could also be a possibility. I guess. But I think maybe the only human application I could think of would be like, let's suppose you're in some horrific accident and like your brain's okay.
Yeah.
But your body is manglified.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So...
And then there's the reverse on somebody else, where their brain's gone, or they've died, but their body's fully intact or something.
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But I mean, it will come to the point where we are able to clone body parts.
Yeah, I don't want to,
Well, you say that. You have all...
think about it.
But you have all your body parts.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's another side of that fence.
I could use some bionic parts. That'd be great.
You know what that was? The theme music for a $6 Million Man.
Oh.
Yeah, and there was a bionic woman. But there was actually a bionic dog on that show too.
Oh.
A German Shepherd. Oh my God. Look where we've come.
God, indeed.
So yeah, anyway, that was a pretty creepy tale. I just stumbled on that the other day, and I'm
That's like some, if I saw that walking down the street, I'd be like, oh my God, it's the apocalypse.
Well, it does remind me of one of the Simpsons Halloween episodes, and it was a variation of The Fly.
Yes.
Where Homer buys the transporter things at a garage sale for the scientist, and Bart, they have them like almost side by side, and Bart sends his dog, Santa's little helper, into it, but it gets mixed up, and one comes out with a head at each end, and the other one comes out with a tail at each end, and the ass, and Bart's like, Lisa, that's your dog. Yeah. Anyway, enough about two-headed dogs for now. Do you have another story for us, Mel?
I got another one.
Ooh, yeah.
I thought this one was quite interesting.
It's not. Is it like Olga? Does it involve eating rats?
No.
Two-headed animals?
No. It's about meat, though.
Well, I like meat.
You like meat, don't you?
Yeah. Not all of it, but
Not all of it?
No. I haven't had all of it, have I?
I don't know.
No. Yeah, lay it on us.
All right. Imagine you're walking along an old dirt road on
wait. Okay.
Interruptee.
No, I'm walking on a gravel road now.
Oh.
You told me to imagine.
Oh, okay. I see what you were doing there. Sorry. I thought you were actually stopping me from talking.
If only. No, just kidding. Sorry, go on.
Anyways, you're walking down an old dirt road on a cool spring day. The sun is out, the sky is clear, and the air is crisp. There's a slight breeze, but no heavy wind.
Wow.
Suddenly, something starts to fall from the sky.
It happens.
You might expect rain, maybe even snow. But quickly you realize it ain't gonna rain today. It isn't rain at all, or even snow. It's meat.
Ooh, whoa.
Meat.
Whoa.
Meat falling from the sky. That might sound like something out of a science fiction book, but it isn't. It is straight out of history. To be specific, it's a well-documented event called the Kentucky Meat Shower.
Cool. No, never mind. Keep going.
This was March 3rd in 1876.
Oh, so quite a while ago.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. Mary Crouch of Olympia Springs, Kentucky. She was outside making soap.
Who doesn't?
I mean...
I got to do that this Saturday.
Absolutely. Suddenly, all around her, meat was falling from the sky. Later...
Sorry, go on.
Later, Crouch would say the chunks of meat were about the size of large snowflakes. In the coming days, many neighbors stopped by to see the result of the meat shower for themselves. One named Garrison Gill later reported that meat was everywhere on the farm.
That's a good name, Garrison Gill.
Yeah.
I want to be called that from now on.
All right, Garrison.
Thanks.
It hung from fences and lay all over the ground. The largest was about 4 inches long. 10 centimeters for you others.
Right.
People quickly went about trying to figure out what the meat was and where it came from. One local hunter inspected the meat and declared it came from a bear. 2 of Crouch's neighbors decided to let their taste buds guide them.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, they did. They ate the meat that had fallen from the sky.
Yeah.
According to their reports, it tasted like venison or mutton. They sent samples of the meat off for testing. Early on, one scientist believed the substance to be a bacteria, but further testing proved it was the flesh of an animal as they observed cartilage and lung tissue.
Sorry, this dude thought it was bacteria? Like,
Yeah, some sort of bacteria.
Aren't they generally, I don't know, microscopic?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to see bacteria that big. I'm running away.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm going to bed.
Muscle tissue was also later found in the samples. Their observations led them to believe the meat came from either a horse or a human being.
Oh, wow.
The doctors confirmed that the substance was meat. But why did it fall from the sky?
Good question.
Later, in 1876, Dr. L.D. Castebine published a hypothesis that many still support today. He proposed that the meat shower was likely caused by vulture vomit.
Oh. Okay.
If you know much about vultures, you probably know they're birds that feed on decaying carcasses. Mm-hmm. That may be enough to make you or us sick to our stomachs, but for vultures, it's a feast. Instead, these birds are most likely to vomit for a strategic reason. They're known to projectile vomit to ward off predators. I did not know that.
No, I certainly didn't.
They also force themselves to do it if they're too heavy when taking flight. I wish I could just be like, hey, I'm feeling heavy today. Well, I guess some people do that, don't they?
Yeah, let me know when you take flight. Because I want to see it. Don't try from the balcony, please.
Throwing up part of their last meal can help vultures lighten up enough to rise higher in the sky.
Sure.
The Kentucky meat shower is still shrouded in mystery today, but most people go along with the vulture vomit theory. They believe a flock of vultures likely vomited while flying high above the Kentucky farm. Okay. Then the light breeze caught the meat, causing it to fall across the farm like rain.
See, that makes sense, because I thought, like, if this is one vulture, well, how big could this meat shower possibly be?
I don't know.
So if it's a whole flock or gaggle or whatever vultures are called, then that makes sense. But I don't...
And why would you eat it?
Well, that wouldn't be my first thought either.
I wonder what this is. Let's eat it.
But because she said some of the pieces were like the size of large snowflakes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not very big.
No, but then the other guys, like some of them are up to 4 inches.
4 inches, right.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
It is, well,
it's absurd.
What's the Occam's razor? Do you know that term?
No, I don't.
I might screw this up, so I'm going to have to paraphrase it, but it's basically like whatever explanation after everything else has been eliminated, no matter how ridiculous, that must be the answer. Right?
Right. So it's vulture vomit. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense, right? It has...
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know anything about vultures. Like, I knew they ate carrion and stuff, but... You know, and the vomiting when you're too heavy, well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I don't fly, but if I did, I might be, oh, shit. I shouldn't have had that third piece of pizza. Now, how am I going to get home?
Yeah, well, might as well throw up.
Right. Well, so...
Right over this farm.
Well, the vulture doesn't know or care, right? Vultures. That's the part I find weird, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't disbelieve it, but, I mean, there had to be enough meat for anyone to notice. Mm-hmm. And so that, therefore, a flock of them.
It's like, actually, I'm going to reference another story, but I don't know what episode it was. It was one of our very early ones where I did, like, the globs of goo that fell from the sky.
Oh, yeah.
And they were trying to figure out what that was from.
Yes.
But it was also on a smaller area, but there was enough where they were like, what is this?
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, them's the vultures,
the vultures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, and, yeah, Garrison Gill.
Garrison.
That's going to be a pseudonym of mine. For sure using that.
Hashtag Garrison Gill.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was, I think, personally, and I don't think I'm entirely objective, but I think those were good stories today.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
I liked Olga. Mm-hmm. I hated and loved both of my stories.
Yeah.
You know, we actually covered like a lot of disgusting stuff today.
Yeah, we did. It was a
Death
disgusting one. I like it.
And detritus and rats.
I like it.
Dogs
I'm here
with
for it.
Double barks.
With double.
Yeah. That was weird because one would bark.
Super Bowls.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Is that what they call them?
I don't know.
Super Bowl.
But it was a German Shepherd, and what was the other one? It was some tiny dog. So it would have like a roof and a ruff, ruff.
Yeah.
That would freak you out. You could actually be a whole chorus.
You could.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell the people that we have another contest coming up.
Yes, we do.
I'm not telling you anything else right now.
No.
You're going to have to tune in next week when all the details, they will be plentiful.
Yes,
but
we're still ironing all that out, but we'll give you all the details.
That's right. And it's going to be awesome. You just wait and see.
Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of about it.
Yeah.
Got anything you want to say to our people?
Yes. You guys should check out our website.
Darn right.
It's theabsurdpodcast.ca. You can check out our links in there for some of our streaming platforms and how to reach us on Facebook, Instagram, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And when you go there, hopefully you'll listen. And hopefully you'll listen again because you love it. Mm-hmm. Do give us a quick review, but at least, don't be shy to give us 5 stars. We'd like 5 stars.
Yeah. Send us a message. If you want to hear us talk about something or you have suggestions, comments.
Yep, by all means.
We want to hear it.
By all means.
Reach
out. Don't be afraid to share either. So thanks again, everyone. Yeah. Thanks for coming by, and I hope if you're experiencing winter like we are, we hope you're staying warm and safe. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll see you back here again soon.
Yeah.
So take care of yourselves and one another.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Absurd Podcast is written, produced, and recorded by Rod and Mal. Music by Audionautics.com.